Hello, welcome back to the YouTube channel of Bethel Evangelical Free Church Hanley. I'm Pastor Gervais Charmley. This is another historic church in Lancashire. This is the church Wilfrid, Melling, and there doesn't seem to be a light this far west, which is why I'm standing in the darkness. The church here has, well, it's origins way back, at least as far back as the 12th century, although most of the present building we see here is 14th century and later. Like many churches in the area, historic churches in the area, it was the mother church of a much bigger parish, which included Arkholme, which is across the River Lune, and probably an earlier video will have dealt with Arkholme and its church in the precincts of the old castle. And that was a chapel of Melling. Now, to get from Arkholme to Melling today, you've got to go quite a way around, and it's all very well crossing the river when the river is normal, but when it's in flood it must have been quite a pain, so hence Arkholme exists. But this is Melling, and we'll see as we go around evidence from past centuries, particularly some rather nice 17th century seating in here, so we'll see that as we go around. And so as usual we start at the west end. The area here has been screened in. I do wonder if the screens were originally somewhere else, but they've now been put in here to make a flexible area for tea, coffee and light refreshments, which is always a good idea. The font here is Victorian. You can see here it is. Here's the square font, and then above you've got its cover. We have here a memorial to Clementine Louise, fourth daughter of Franz Karl Rump, staff captain in the German army, born at Frankfurt, November 23rd, 1825, died at Melling, December 19th, 1898. So her life was spent for others in the Franco-Prussian War. For over 2 years she ministered to the sick and wounded soldiers, receiving at the hands of the Emperor the Iron Cross for saving life. Her closing years spent in this village. Must have been interesting when the Great War broke out. So here we are, the South Aisle. We'll do what we normally do, which is proceed up the North Aisle first. And here we see there's a number of interesting memorials in the North Aisle. But here we have the 17th century pews. They're rather nice, aren't they? Like little settles. We've got Boaz and Ruth in the window here. Memorial to Thomas Smith, Esquire of Lincoln's Inn, so he would have been a lawyer. John Marshall, and he's got this figure on his memorial. And David and Isaiah there. And then here we have remains of Margaret, daughter of Stephen Smith of Ray. And you can see it carved to look like cloth. Rather fun. Pulpit, Victorian, and up into the chancel. And we are quite up because there are 1, 2, 3, 4 steps up to the chancel, 2 up to the sanctuary, and 3 more up to the altar. We are built inside of a hill here, so it does make sense. In context, as they say. Nice organ. Looking west, the chancel arch is notably off-centre. Sorry, the tower arch is off-centre, not the chancel arch. Well, one of them's off-centre. I suspect it's got to be the tower arch. Nice arcades. They appear to be 14th century, at least the lower parts. And up here we have the War Memorial there, and then above memorial to Henry Marsden of Gisborne in Yorkshire. Gives his day. He died in 1742. Nice Victorian paint. Then he's got all this alabaster on the walls, and there's the Reverend Sandford Tatham. The Tathams were a local family. You can see also a connection with, well, his wife was the second daughter of Henry Marsden. And there's a squint. Now as we get up here we see how the squint, this allowed the priest at the side altar to coordinate with the priest at the main altar. East window, a little bit faded and decayed. Reverend John Tatham, 58 years vicar of this parish. I say the Tathams are a local family, so it's quite helpful for them to be able to have a son here in the church. And although Tatham is a separate parish, that's the organ, and it's a long way down because we're built inside of a hill, and so the interior of the church rises. Now, sometimes, unfortunately, you get cases where what they've done is the church didn't originally do that, but we want it to now, and so you'll get situations where the piscina is somewhere near the ankles of the celebrant, which I'm sure is not really helpful for the celebrant. The side chapel here, we've got an example of sort of 18th century memorial that the Victorians weren't actually very keen on. Here we are. This is memorial to Sandford someone, and you can see here we've got these little boys at the top, these putty, and they've got no clothes on at all, and it's quite obvious. And that this is 1728, so perfectly normal 1728, but later on they go, we don't think that perhaps full frontal nudity is suitable for church memorials. And so here we are out of the chapel, and you can see then more of the 17th century benches. There have been box pews in the middle, they've all been taken out. So that is the inside here at Melling in Lancashire. There are other things to see, but don't want the video to go on too long, and I'd like to encourage people to visit these places. And so here we are outside at St Wilfrid's, Melling. You can see again it's one of these long churches. You can also see here how the tower seems quite low here because it's on rising ground, built into the side of a hill basically. We'll see more as we go around the outside. So here we go, you can see how it has this sort of long, it's not a single structure, there's an actual break in the structure between nave and chancel, but it's not an obvious one. And you can see how this side chapel here has its little crenellations and the long porch, and how you think inside the chancel looked high enough, and you can see that the window, basically the bottom of the window, is about ground level at the east end, so there's a very definite slope here. And as we go around, we can see here this window facing east, and obviously the window has rather decayed over the century and more since it was installed. Happens sometimes. It's exposed externally to an awful lot of weather. There's a lot of weather up here in the north. And we get weather enough in the south in England. And Staffordshire, well, North Staffs is North Midlands, but this is very definitely the north, Lancashire now. And the architecture reflects this, and you can see here the church marching on down the hill. Now on this side, got the vestry at the east end of the aisle. So just trying to get down to the churchyard path here, so it's a bit more solid because I don't want to injure myself. As we move out here, you can see that tower is 15th century, and the clerestory will be a similar date. Clerestories tend to be. And again, these nice square-headed windows, and you can see also the stair turret on the tower. Not all towers have visible stair turrets. Some actually have stairs in them, some which have ladders, but sometimes there are internal stair turrets rather than external ones, but this has an external stair turret, which is normally, sometimes it's an easier thing to build, but it can look a little bit out of the way. So that is Melling Church. We'll just get round to the west end and have a closer look at this tower. The stonework of the tower is different from that of the nave and chancel. And similar at different dates, of course. Oh, there goes the bell. You can tell I wasn't expecting the bell to go. 3 o'clock, and there's the west door, and up we are, top of the tower. So that, St Wilfrid's here in Melling. So there we have it, St Wilfrid's, Melling. Good example of one of these big historic parish churches up here in the north. So thank you for watching, and may God bless you and keep you until next time.